Most property investors structure their deals completely wrong. They're either paying too much tax in their personal name, or they're buying off-the-shelf limited companies without understanding the implications. And when it comes to raising finance, they're leaving loads of money on the table. Hi guys, I'm Jim Holland from Dan and Jim Property, which I run with my brother in the northwest of England. And we buy houses and rent them out either as whole properties or by the room. And this is my part 2 of my conversation with my accountant Mark, who specialises in property structures. And in this one, we're covering loads of good stuff. The stuff most investors get wrong. Personal names versus limited company, how to actually raise angel finance properly, why bridging is so expensive, how to manage investor conversations. So if you're interested in investing in property, make sure you subscribe to the channel, because I post videos every single week breaking down the real mechanics about property investing. I've time-stamped all the key sections in this video, so if you want to jump around, feel free. And let's get into it. Can you just explain to people the difference between purchasing properties in your personal name and versus a limited company, and the pros and cons of sort of both?
Yeah, so with limited company, the accountancy fees are more costly. Always start with that. As an individual, you fill out a tax return and you put the rental income on it. Some people are already filling out tax returns. With a limited company, the directors still need to do that same return, but we have to prepare accounts for company's house and HMRC and tax returns for HMRC as well for the company. There's annual filing fees for company's house for various other things. So from that point of view, there's a lot more work involved, which obviously costs money. From the people purchasing properties, again, there's more to it, more administration. If you go and buy a property in your personal name, you'll pay additional stamp duty on any additional properties. Limited company doesn't get that allowance, so you're paying the same additional stamp duty, so there's no benefit there. The cons are, again, interest rates are slightly higher with a limited company as well, so it's more costly all overall with accountancy fees, stamp duty, and the interest rates, but over a long term it can be a lot better. The tax rates are lower, there's things that we can do to manage it. It's outside the scope of inheritance tax. It's not very black and white, but I discussed that with my clients on how you can avoid inheritance tax within the limited companies. The main thing that people don't understand is, as an individual, you have lots of different tax rates depending on where your income's coming from.
It's quite complicated, isn't it?
Yeah, so you're employed, you've got your income tax, you've got interest that's going to get taxed separate, you've got dividends that are going to get taxed separate. If you sell the property, you've got your capital gains, you've got income tax on the rental. If you decide to go and buy a commercial vehicle, you can't offset that against your property.
Yeah.
Whereas with a limited company, everything is lumped into one and it pays corporation tax. So you pay corporation tax on the rental income if you sell the property, and that means that losses can be offset against certain things. So we have clients that will go and buy certain things in their limited company that doesn't mean the same justification as a landlord, because the company's purchasing it and therefore the taxes can be lower. So we always say it's short-term paying for long-term gain. So yes, the interest rates are going to be higher. Yes, the annual accountancy fees and the administration and so on is more. But over a 10-year period, with the lower tax rates for the income, lower tax rates if you're selling, avoiding inheritance tax, it's definitely a better strategy.
So I think that feeds into what you were saying before about maybe the next generation of investors coming in and maybe taking that longer-term view. And if you take that longer-term view, it feels like the answer's pretty simple. It's limited company, isn't it?
Yeah.
In terms of how does that work then? Because I've spoken to quite a lot of investors who will speak to maybe retiring landlords who've got stuff in limited companies. Can you talk about the advantages of purchasing a limited company with, let's say it's got, I don't know, a portfolio of 10 buy-to-lets in?
Yeah, I'm probably the wrong accountant to ask. So I know there's lots of accountants out there who say, "Oh, go and buy this company because you'll avoid paying the stamp duty. You're buying the company itself or the shares of the company." Yes, it's a good model because you are saving on the stamp duty, and you're probably going to get those properties a lot cheaper because you're buying in bulk. Unfortunately, there used to be multiple dwellings relief, so I would say to people, go and buy all the properties in one go, use your multiple dwellings relief. They obviously got rid of that, so there's more of an argument to buy the company. One of the things that concerns me though is you are then linked to that person who had that company.
Because you're taking over the ownership of the company.
Yeah, and that's something that concerns me. It's the only time I see it is for property purchases like this, or buying a property company, or if someone's buying a nursery or school of some kind where they need the Ofsted rating. So if you came along today and said, "Oh, I want to buy your business," I'd say go and set up your own company. Buy the rights to my business, but it's your own company, it's clean, and you're never linked to me.
Yeah.
Because in 5 years' time, if I go and do something I shouldn't and get struck off as a director or get liquidated, I've been linked to your company.
And then does that have an adverse impact on the sort of credit file?
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be, oh wow.
Yeah.
I didn't realise that.
Yeah. So if someone's been involved with a liquidation, even just setting up a business bank account can be difficult.
Well, because it'll be on your file, yeah.
And I don't know how many people have been in legal battles, but paperwork doesn't always stand up. So you buy my business, what's to stop me going and taking a massive loan, not repaying it, and then
It's linked to you.
it's linked to the company that you've just bought. And okay, we could have all kinds of agreements that say I can't do this and I can't do that. But if I just do a runner and
If someone's
go move
enthusiastic
to
enough,
islands,
do whatever.
So things like that do concern me. Is it worth it to save the stamp duty? And again, I just give my clients the facts. If you went and purchased these properties separately, this is the deal you could potentially do. This is the stamp duty you're going to pay. And again, it depends on people's risk levels. Some people will say to me, no, I would rather pay everything now, still get into it, set up my own business, and know I can sleep at night.
Yeah, it's just easier.
And other people will go, that's never going to happen. It's not going to go wrong. Yeah, I'll go and buy the company.
You know what? It's interesting. There's a book called The Psychology of Money. I'm not sure if you've read it. And in that, he talks about the value of a good night's sleep in terms of he's talking about investments and stuff like that. And I suppose it's linked to this, but there's a certain emotional and cognitive bandwidth that has a price. Do you know what I mean?
Massively.
And you need to, that needs to be on the ledger, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Because if it's not, and you're I'm doing something that's maybe slightly offside, but you're going to be wrecked, you're going to be super stressed out, you're snapping at your missus or whatever because you're oh my God, some fella I'm linked to's just gone off to Ireland.
When you set up your own business, as everyone's been through this, you kind of do things that maybe you wouldn't do again. Yeah. And even as an accountant, I'm there to help people run their business. If I could start afresh, I would do it all different. And now I think I'm not losing sleep over someone else. It's if I lose sleep over me, that's fine. But when other people are doing things they shouldn't do with their business, it's not worth losing sleep over that. And that's just my mindset. And some people will go, that's something that's going to concern me, that something may come out the woodwork. And we give them the facts. They make that decision.
Yeah. In terms of what you see most buy-to-let investors, HMO investors, from a structured financing point of view, what you see most of them getting wrong generally day to day?
I've got nothing against bridging finance, but I have seen that go wrong, where people can't get the refinance and they're then stuck on a bridging loan. And probably 9 out of 10 people using bridging loans all the time, never having problems. Someone has to be one of the people that it goes wrong for. I think, just personal opinion, I see people rush. So I'm going to go and get this property and I'm going to pay over the odds, where actually if I just waited a little bit, I'd pay less for the property, I'd get a better mortgage deal. It may be their own personal circumstances mean they can't quite get the finance now. I would say it's that. I'd say it's more people rushing into deals rather than getting the wrong type of finance. There's angel investors, there's your bridging. They all serve a purpose as long as it's going to work out
for you.
And some people have said to me, I didn't make much on that deal, but it was a deal. It's experience.
And there is a value to getting your first couple of deals and getting used to it, getting used to the process and the system and stuff like that. But you don't want something can just wipe you out and then you're just out of the game. You always want to stay in the game, don't you? That should always be the default. I mean, talking about angel investments, can you give a sort of breakdown of how that works from a limited company accounting point of view? Because I know mortgage lenders are a bit, where's this money come from? And, solicitors in particular don't like.
Yeah. So with the angel finance, obviously you're taking money from an individual who's investing for guaranteed returns. Lenders don't like that because you're not using your own money and you're not showing that you're invested too with your risk. You're taking the risk on someone else's behalf, so that does put them off. Solicitors, money laundering perspective, we've had a few issues with them just with clients normally. There are things that can be done with angel finance. Some people would set up separate companies. One would raise the finance and the finance can move on to other companies. It's always a case-by-case basis. There's lots of things that can be done and I can assist with that, but it is on a case-by-case basis.
So I think possibly the feedback there, and you need to be speaking to your accountant about this.
Yes.
Maybe not someone on social media who can, because again, it will be a case-by-case. It will depend on maybe the solicitor, the mortgage broker, your setup, the deal. There's a lot of concentric circles there that all overlap, and you're sort of somewhere in the middle trying to navigate it all, aren't you?
The accountant can make everything work.
Yeah.
If you speak to your accountant and they don't make it work, find another one, because there's one that will tell you a way round all that, where you're not doing anything wrong and it satisfies everyone.
Yeah, you're greasing the wheels to get the train on the tracks, I suppose.
And this is the frustrating thing that we see a lot with property. It's you're trying to do so many different things, and the accountant has one opinion, the solicitor has another, the mortgage lender has another, and he needs a proper setup and things to look a certain way.
Definitely, I've definitely experienced that. You know, you like you said, you speak to your solicitor, you speak to your broker, you speak to someone else, and you come away from every conversation being like, oh my god, I don't even know if I can do this now. Which is crazy. I think the point about bridging is really interesting, because we use bridging on our first HMO deal, and they're the people making money at the moment.
Oh yeah,
they are the people making money hand over fist, and it is a good vehicle. It's incredibly expensive though.
It is, and I think if you're picking up a property, and we just go back to basics, what a lot of people use them for is, I'm going to go and buy a 40 grand property, I'm going to get this bridging finance, I'm going to refinance it then down the line, and I might pull 50 grand out of it, and that's covered the bridge, and that's covered the interest, and I've done that relatively quick. Then great, that works.
Yeah.
When you're doing your bigger conversions like your HMOs and stuff where things are going to go on a little bit longer, you're going to find issues. It's just building in that contingency. But the problem is, for someone like you, what's your other option?
Yeah, it's a challenge, and that's why for us we focus a lot on trying to find angel finance and JV partners to try and circumnavigate that, because again, one of the other things, and this will be interesting to get your perspective on this, is money left in deals.
Yeah.
And now a lot of people again on social media will be, I've managed to pull 5 grand out of this deal. It just, like, consistently, when you're looking at lots of property deals, if you want to do deals on a consistent basis, that just is not possible.
No.
You need a strategy for leaving money in deals.
Yes.
What do you see your clients doing? Are they coming in maybe from another business and they've got, I don't know, 200 grand, and they're like, right, that's my pot to leave in deals?
I see a mix. I think not being greedy is definitely a good quality, and we see it more with normal businesses that fail because people are so desperate to pull their money out that when the big energy bill comes along or the roof needs repair or this, and it's the same with these property deals. It's you, like you've said, you need that contingency, leave some money in it and just keep going, and eventually you'll know that all that money's there and you can pull it out when it's needed or put it onto the next deal. But I've seen people start from next to nothing, literally, right, angel finance, I'm going to go and buy a 30-40 grand house and I'm going to do this, and they've turned that then into a property portfolio worth millions with someone else's money.
Yeah.
It can be done, like you've said. It's just, do you want the money now or do you want the long-term plan?
Yeah, and I think this is where, when you're working with your angel investors, they need, because for me now, having been through this, if I was an angel investor, the first question I'd be asking anyone is, what is your strategy for money left in?
Yeah.
Is it my money, or have you got money you're leaving in? You need to have that conversation up front with an angel, because some angels might be happy with that.
Yeah.
They might be completely okay with that, but it's when there's that lack of communication, and then it just snowballs then, and there's lots of stuff on social media with different people in property where it unravels really quickly, and then Ponzi schemes end up getting created because you're robbing Peter to pay Paul.
Yeah.
Because you've got a loan agreement for 12 months and then they need paying back, so you take some more money on. And that's why up front, if you can have that conversation with investors.
Yeah, and again, it's, you take that money today, you brag about it on social media, something goes wrong and you go to that angel investor, go, can I have a bit more money?
Yeah, can I have some more money, or can I have it for longer?
Yeah.
Whereas if from the get-go you're like, right, okay, well, maybe we're not doing this for 12 months, we're doing this for 5 years.
Yeah.
And you've then got the cadence of a couple of deals to wash its face and it comes back out, and then you understand the default position is, okay, the worst case is I leave your money in the deal and I give you a return.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes in property, like when it comes to the stock market, and if you're invested in the S&P or the FTSE, you've got money left in.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That's money left in, that's money that's working for you, and everyone's chasing this all money out, infinite return, but you're still getting a return. You know, if you leave 40 grand in a HMO deal and you're getting 1,200 quid a month, it's still a fantastic return.
Yeah, I think the problem is that people are scared, aren't they? And people don't realise how much their money is at risk elsewhere. And I think they think as an angel investor, oh, my money's at risk, I need to get it back as soon as possible. You have got the minority that go, well, yeah, it's working for me, so I'll leave it in. But yeah, I think that's the biggest problem. Like, people think pensions are safe and pensions aren't safe even.
Yeah, it's an investment.
Yeah,
it's an investment. Well, I remember realising this when sort of years ago when I got into investing, because with your pensions, like someone like Aviva or Legal & General have to give like a dumbed down version so everyone can understand what's going on. And generally they give you like a 1 to 5 risk rating, don't
Yeah.
they? And I then went in to look what number 5 was invested in, and it was a collection of funds which had more funds in it that were invested in the whole market, and I was like, oh, I'm doing number 5 then.
Yeah.
Because I was like, if everything goes wrong, everyone's done anyway.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I was like,
no, I'm the same as you. Like, my pension pot isn't worth a great deal, and I've got it on the riskiest strategy I can. Yeah. I've got no money in it. That's my philosophy. Yeah. And in 20 years time, 30 years time, whenever, if it's made some money, great.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah. And generally, if you can take that mindset of the longer term, in 20 years, you know, previous performance doesn't guarantee anything, but if it's not gone up, the value of your pension isn't going to be your biggest problem, is it? Because it's probably, you know, everything's on fire and it's the end of the world, isn't it?
And the other thing that I have seen happen, it's very, very occasional with some angel investors, is they just want their returns. So sometimes it's a case of, well, I'm putting 100 grand in, I'll have 100 grand back, don't pay me my interest, leave my interest in the deal.
In the deal.
And that is another way, because then it's making them feel that they've had their money back. So there's nothing at risk now, and the money that is the interest is basically what they've earned.
Yeah,
and
it's like house money, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean, sort of thing. Yeah.
So I have seen that from time to time, but obviously it can't always work depending on how much you're borrowing and the interest rates that you've offered. Yeah. But sometimes some people just go, I just want my original investment back, and the rest I'm willing to gamble a bit more.
Yeah. Well, and that's the other thing with these pushes to pull all of your money back out, particularly on like HMO, on a commercial valuation, it puts a lot of pressure on the valuation.
Yeah.
And that has multiple impacts. There's a over leverage conversation to have, and then there's a cash flow conversation, because your mortgage facility is a lot bigger. So your loan's bigger, your monthly payment's bigger, more pressure on cash flow.
Yeah.
And that's where having these conversations with partners and investors who understand this is so important.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think that's what, definitely since I've got into the space, that's what I've noticed a lot of people don't do. Because, you know, I'll be at networking events or speaking to other developers, and I'm like, what's your strategy for money left in? And they're like, oh, you know, super duper valuation. I'm like, oh, you can't control that.
No.
You can't control that. Do you know what I mean? It takes a valuer to change your yield a little bit.
Actually, and that's probably what I should have answered before, is what do I see going wrong? It's not necessarily the client, it is the valuation that always causes the issue.
Because you can't control it.
Yeah.
You can't control it. You know, you can do the most super duper refurb, you can have all the comparables, value gets on the wrong side of the bed.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, and it kills your strategy, which is a major downside of particularly commercial HMOs. It's a bit more black and white with buy-to-lets, but you can still get down valuations on them.
Yeah.
Big time, yeah. Big time. Okay, Mark, is there anything else that any pearls of wisdom from Mr. Mark O'Meara you wanna give people?
Not at the minute. I think for me, I'm seeing a lot of people just sitting and waiting.
Yeah.
Will yesterday's budget give them some stability to move forward? We'll see. And I'd just say don't rush into things. So many people go on these property training courses, speaking to all the friends, everyone else is doing it. If there's just any little bit of doubt, don't see it through. Wait for the next property, wait for the next deal, whatever it is, just don't rush into it. You know, like I said before, if I could start afresh, I would, and I'm sure if you started again, you'd do things different.
Loads of stuff. You learn loads of stuff. Yeah. I think definitely speaking to people in your area, getting a really good accountant. Now, Mark's told me he's not taking any more clients on, but I will put his details in the description. So if anyone wants to reach out to Mark and ask him any questions, I'm sure you're willing to help. And that's important when it comes to accountants as well. They need to be property specific, because it's such a broad church, isn't it, accountancy?
Yeah, so we have a traditional accountancy firm, but we've been working with a lot of property clients since 2017. I did stop taking on property clients because I felt we were too exposed.
Yeah, that's it.
And we've changed again now, and now we are taking on property clients and not taking on other types of clients. But yeah, it's not necessarily someone that's property specific, because we have taken clients from property specific accountants that weren't doing things right. But yeah, it's having that good team. It's having an accountant that you can have a chat to. It's having a broker that you can have a chat to. You're probably not going to find a solicitor that you can have a chat with. But,
this time of year.
But yeah, just you need, even if the broker and accountant don't talk, you need to be able to talk to them honestly.
Yeah.
And it's right, this is what I want to do, these are the issues, and you need to be guided through it. Yeah.
Yeah. So, well, on that, but before we wrap up, do you think it's super important? Like, I'm super lucky. Like, Mark lives this office is like 10 minutes from my house. Do you think that's needed these days? Could you be based? Oh, I'm sure you've got clients in London.
We've got clients all over the world.
Yeah.
I've got clients that I've not met in person, we've met online, and that's one of the pros from COVID is that a lot of people like that. And we have got clients 5-10 minutes away that we don't see anymore because it's all through Zoom or over the phone. So no, for me, it's finding the right person that you can trust who will give you the right answers regardless of their location.
What you need. Perfect.